So, hi everyone. I like to discuss about anything and everything around design. So, feel free to connect with me and chit chat like today. So, I want to talk about what is the design system today. As we often see terms like style guide, pattern library, design system, and other such terms being used interchangeably. So, to get that confusion away, let's get our definition and the structure of design system straight. Here is a definition by Therese Fessenden, Nielsen Norman Group, that a design system is a complete set of standards intended to manage design at scale using reusable components and patterns. So, in this definition, we see that here is a set of deliverables which are assembled together to help us build products, right? So, in these set of deliverables could include rules like design principles, implementation and editorial guidelines, some do's and don'ts, foundations like color schemes, typefaces, icons, components like buttons, form fields, menus, and patterns, which are combination of these components, page layouts, and so much more around these, right? So to understand that how all of these are connected to design system, we will cover the characteristics of design system. Here in Atlassian design system, which is an open design system, we can refer to like all of these on the left. It has represented its brand, the mission, personality, promise, the foundations like color, iconography, typography. It also has documented the components, patterns. So yeah, everything is very well documented in all of these design systems. So we can refer to them and understand the characteristics of design system, like how it is a common visual language. When we create design systems, we start to systemize our work, to think in components. We create assets that are easier to interpret. For example, the functionality and appearance of a drop-down menu would not be debated, since that term is reserved for a specifically defined element within the design system. Here is an example by Atlassian Design System. Here is drop-down menu, which has drop-down item. They have given its examples, codes, usage, little description, the states, types, everything for the team to find. And they can have this common shared language, a visual language, which design system helps us to get. Then scalability. To design at scale, it is very important to have a governance model, since a design system helps you manage design at scale and change your products while maintaining consistency. But how can we maintain consistency across products when each product has its own requirement? So in that case, we need governance model, which tells how we can continue to evolve our design system with the product and how others can contribute to it. To better understand this, we have an example. So suppose in an organization, the team uses a component like alert from the design system. So as for the product, there can be a case that they can reuse this component, and save themselves from reinventing the wheel and unintended inconsistency. Or they can come across an edge case that the current design system components don't cover. Well, in that case, they refer to the governance model, the rules, the guidelines it has, what they should do to contribute to the design system. As per that, it could be that they give feedback to the design system team, they try to address and resolve the issue, and then share it back to the consuming teams. Then style guide. As I mentioned, it oftenly used as a design system term interchangeably, but design system offers more than a style guide, as it defines rules and connections, providing the highest level of abstraction of a design language. It does defines characteristics such as typography, colors, icons, spacing, basically the essence of your brand in a digital context, which are usually maintained as design tokens and code, but it has more to offer. For example, if we see Orbit by Kiwi.com, they have characteristics like spacing and icons, examples of use, values, size names, even the states like if it's success, warning, critical. But how Orbit is a design system, as a foundation like typography in their heading, they have given the font sizes along with the basic guidelines of headings, some do's and don'ts, right? So speaking of rules, here is another aspect to design system, that how it involves principles and guidelines which serves as a guiding light when it comes to designing and giving feedback. Design principles define the core values of products and team. So when the team aligns around these principles, it streamlines the feedback process and gives sound argumentation for design decisions. So that really helps. Here is Lightning Design System by Salesforce. They have their design principles: clarity, efficiency, consistency, beauty, the core values of Lightning Design System. And here, along with that, if we see, there are rules by Atlassian Design System, the do's and don'ts, which are given in most of the components. So yeah, rules and principles are very essential and the first step towards design system. Once we are set with the components and foundation, everything, we get components and then we store them in a library. Like we prepare a ready to use component library. In this library, we find elements which vary in size and complexity, as they can be single minor element like an input field, or multiple grouped elements like a navigation bar or a form. Here is Atlassian Design System's single element like avatar. We see examples, code usage, anatomy, best practices, so much around avatar, all out there for the team to use, for all the consuming teams. And a grouped element like form, where they have defined when to use it and how they can customize the fields with components such as text fields, range fields, checkbox field, and so on. So yeah, I think by now we understand that how these terms are connected, but definitely not the same. So I hope I'm successful in it. Thank you.